So here we are. Gratitude is the magic attitude, part 2. Kind of trying to figure out where I left off. um. So yeah, basically in the middle of, it's a change of perspective. You have to find a different way of looking at it, even when you can't see it. There's been times I like, God, I can't see nothing but what I'm saying that I'm seeing. Help me to see things differently. What can I see differently about my situation? Give me a different perspective. Help me be objective here. Help me be the outsider looking in and saying, oh, well, you could do this. Or maybe if you looked at it this way. So yeah, you gotta be aware of your thoughts, of your feelings, and like be willing to work with yourself. Like if you ain't willing to work with yourself, you're fucked. Like really, if you're not willing to do the work and you just, this is why people sometimes they commit suicide, because they don't see no way out. They don't know how to ask for a different perspective. So I'm hoping that that this message, reaches people who are stuck in a situation in their minds and they don't see a way out. And I hope it gives them an idea of how to get unstuck, so that the only way out that they, so that suicide is not the only way they see out. You know what I'm saying? Because there's been times when suicide was the only thing I saw as a way out. That's real. People be like, "Oh, you're so loving light." Yeah. I'm loving light because I've been to the dark side. I've been through the darkness. Okay? And I don't, it's like when I see other people in that darkness, I want to reach out and be like, "Hey, shine my flashlight over there. Hey, this way. This way. This is the way out." Because you never know what gifts and talents that person has that will ripple across the world and reach the world. So much love and light. Yet our own traumas, the traumas and the things that we go through that were meant to break us, or at least teach us, are so harsh. People are like, "Yeah, I'm done." No, we've got stuff to do. We've got work to do here, y'all. There's a whole world of us out there that needs healing. And the more we can heal ourselves, the more we can help others heal. At least point them in a direction. I ain't saying spend all your time begging somebody not to kill themselves. I'm not saying spend all your time in an abusive relationship where somebody's just like always got a damn problem. And you're like, "Oh, well, here's a few ideas. Here's a few things that might be a solution for you." But they never take your suggestions. They never act on them. They never do that. Don't waste your time on people like that. Your time and energy is too precious for that. That's a narcissist. That's a narcissist. They just trying to feed off your love and light. They just want you to give that energy and that love, and they're just there for their serving, and they'll come back when they run out with the same fucking stories of the same fucking shit. I speak from experience, but yeah, I've been on my way out dying before. The one time I was going home to grab the one gun that I actually had that was mine. I was done. I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm gonna go home, get gorgeous. I'm gonna go to a park. My poor roommate, he'll just have to deal with it. My kids, they ain't even gonna miss me. I'm just done. And I was gonna go to a park, like where people can see me, and I was gonna blow my fucking brains out. Well, I got home, went to go get my gun, and my house had been robbed. You wanna know how mad I was? You wanna know how fucking mad I was? That I had decided to do this. And somebody stole my motherfucking gun. You know, I still haven't got that gun back. It may be in a locker in Georgia somewhere, waiting. I still got my gun case. I still got my serial numbers and all that. But I've never went to go pick it up. And it's because, you know, obviously it was because I did not need the gun at the time. And at this point in my life, I don't really think I even need it for protection. Because I'll be the first one to shoot your fucking ass. I've had enough bullshit from people. I've had enough abuse from people. That when people come at me threatening my life and stuff, don't threaten my life unless you're ready to take it, motherfucker. And I ain't going to him. It ain't my time, and I know this. So, looks like it's gonna be you. I ain't fooling with this shit no more. That's Mary Todd. But now, when my brother was murdered and people was up in my face with stuff like that, I made sure that I did not have anything in my vicinity that I could do those things with. And, yeah, when they came up and threatened me, I was just like able to stand there calm, self-controlled, just blink at them. Like, really? You murdered my brother, and now you're threatening me to get off my own fucking land, my own family farm. Hey, you can have it. I'm not willing to lose my life over this place like my family did at your hands. Go fuck yourself. I'm not dying for a piece of land in a place where people like fucking hate me because I am love and light and truth, and they don't like none of that shit. Not my problem. There's a whole wide world out here. Whole wide world full of places I can live where people will love me and accept me for who I am, who enjoy the light that I bring. You know? You don't never have to stay where you were born or where you were raised or even where you just decided to live for the past couple of years or whatever. You don't have to stay anywhere. You don't have to stay in any situation either. I didn't have to stay in an abusive marriage. My mother chose to, and that's why I chose not to. I chose to give myself and my children a fucking fighting chance at life. Of living without fear. Of living without domestic violence. I did my best to provide that for my kids. And I continue to work on it. Even though my children aren't with me, I continue to work on myself, work on nonviolent communication, boundaries, and I'm grateful for all the things that I've learned. I take extra parenting classes when I come across them. Why? Because I'm still a parent. I may not be able to communicate with my kids right now. And maybe that's something I should be grateful for because, you know, it's hard to communicate with people that you're afraid of trusting. Like you want to tell them, oh my gosh, this is amazing stuff is happening in my life. My life is so full of miracles. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you guys to be able to join me. And it's just like, You never know who's going through their phone, who's plotting against you. None of that. So it's really hard. But I'm grateful for this because it gives me time to focus. See, I come back to that. What am I grateful about this situation for? What can I be grateful about this situation? I'm grateful because it's given me the time to focus on myself, to heal myself, the generational curses in my family, to set my children up for success, to set myself up for success, first of all, and then to be able to set my children up for success. That's the goal. I don't want my kids to be dependent on me. That's enabling. I don't want my kids to be like, oh yeah, not know what it's like. I want my kids to know what the fuck it's like to do like I've done. And start out on your own, figure out who the fuck you are, and start off from rock bottom and make your own way. Because there's something so special about that. Can't nobody take from you. You might lose your ass a couple times. You might lose a couple houses. You might lose your business or whatever, but you tried. And you're up doing it again. Correcting the mistakes that you made in the past. Learning from your mistakes. And moving forward. That's the whole point. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. And be grateful along the way. There's so many things that I have to be grateful for. Like I've got, look at this. I got these things on the wall. Those are certificates. Things that I wanted to do before COVID started. Things I was working on before COVID. I was working on going to discipleship school and getting a piece of paper that says that I'm a minister in the Assemblies of God. I was working on, literally, when we came back from Nicaragua, which was, literally, they declared COVID right as we were coming back. That weekend, I was coming back from Nicaragua, going from laying hands on people and watching them be healed, to going into my Reiki classes to become a Reiki practitioner. And the classes got canceled because COVID. And so it took me 2 years. Because my brother was murdered right after that. It took me a whole 2 years and everything. But this spring, I did it. Over last summer and this spring, in the past year of my life, I've got my Reiki 2 certification. I got my minister's license. Not from the place I was going to school, because they kept telling me I wasn't worthy, I wasn't okay. You're not good enough. Like, the fuck you mean? I've been out here with Holy Spirit working in the streets, and you guys are trying to dumb me back down to living a religious thing, where y'all all hid up in the church house and don't reach out to people and don't minister the love of Jesus to these people in the streets. You're just comfortable sitting there in your pews, and you won't even get a fucking vacuum cleaner for the cleaning guy who wound up committing suicide. So why do I need for y'all to give me a piece of paper after I pay an ass of money when God has already ordained me, anointed me to do what I do? I got online and I got my minister's license. I can marry people. I can do hand fasting ceremonies, that sort of thing. That's not why I got it. I got it so that that I'm able to go places where most civilians would normally not be allowed to. They'll let clergy in certain groups and places where they don't let just regular folks in. So I want to be able to have that privilege. And yeah. So Yeah. And, you know, I got a spot. You see that blank spot right there? And that's where my life coaching certificate's going to go. And the fun part about that is I've had it paid for since this time last year. I've had it paid for a year. I paid for it when my tax returns came back because I thought that was going to be the avenue that I went through first. But I have not done the work on it. All I got to do is get online, log in, and start doing the classwork. Before you know it, I'll have it. That's actually on my list of goals, to just go ahead and finish that. But I have also over there my insurance, where I've already got that listed. I've got card reading, Reiki, and insurance, and life coaching covered on my insurance, my business insurance. And, you know, so I'm looking, you know, it's it's a work in progress, and it's like so many things. It's like, oh, I need to focus on one thing and do it, or at least two majors. So yeah, and be grateful for. I have a place. Just, you know, I'm so grateful for the, you know, and I asked the universe for this too. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna stay in Salem, I need a place where I can stay. I can have my own room. I'm okay with shared space, you know, otherwise, but I need my own room. I'm gonna need Wi-Fi so I can run my business from home. I'm gonna need this, that, and the other. As soon as I made the decision to stay in Salem, see, when I didn't make the decision to stay in Salem, there was nothing on my plate. But as soon as I told my caseworker at the shelter, I've decided to stay. I'm going to work, and I'm going to live here, and this is what I'm looking for. She slid the paper across the desk. Said, I want you to fill out this application. And COVID vaccination later, that was a whole thing. Because at first there was no rule about that, and then there became one, or there was one. Somebody didn't tell me something. I don't know what the hell happened, but I was given the understanding that I didn't have to have a COVID shot, and I was so excited. And then I found out that if I'm going to move in, I have to have the vaccination, and I'm just like, I cried. I waited for a week, held off my own stuff, waiting on somebody to respond to a text and say, yeah, that's whack. I quit my job, and you should come stay with me. We should just live together and do this, you know. Don't worry about that. The motherfucker texted back when I was on the way, literally driving in my truck to get the second shot. And I was like, oh, I just reached out to you just so, you know, he was the one person that I had the conversation with about, like, we are not getting vaccinated. I'm not getting vaccinated. But after being vaccinated, I survived it. I didn't get COVID from it. I experienced a little bit of symptoms for like 3 days each time, and that was about it. Before that, I'd already experienced the same thing for like 3 days, and that was it. So, like, my immune system was set anyway, and it just like, so I'll be getting my booster because I like where I live. I'm right around the corner from work. I'm straight in the middle of town. I got the ocean like one block is the ocean front. You know, it's kind of like a little bay, and it's all calm and stuff, but, you know, there's still seagulls and water and a little sand. And I've got a great park, not even like just right across the street. I've got it made, dude. What the fuck? I got so many things to be grateful for. I walk down there everywhere I go. The only time I drive is whenever I go get groceries, you know. So, or whenever I have a doctor's appointment. And so, I mean, I walk everywhere. and it's great. I love it. Um, I have a beautiful life. I've built a beautiful life for myself. And it's seeing those things, it's like, I'll get caught up in, oh, I only have this much in my savings account right now. I finally got it above the mark. I finally got it above the goal, and I don't want to go back into that. I want to keep making money so that I don't have to go back into my savings, that I could just keep adding to my savings, but also adding all these new bills and expenses like apprenticeship programs and phone bills added to my rent and stuff. Like, it's not always easy in my mind, but when I start thinking about all the things that I'm grateful for and how it's so worth it, everything that I've decided to do for myself is worth it, and that I know that if I decide to do something for myself that upgrades me, that the universe will provide opportunities for me to make more money or to transition jobs and then make more money to accommodate those things. Like, do I spend too much sometimes? I don't know if I spend too much or if I invest too much in myself. I've been a little bit bougie with my stuff here lately. Like, instead of just getting up and going to the grocery store, because I got food stamps right now, I have been spending money on food, vegan food, affordable vegan food. But that's probably like probably $150 worth of food that I didn't have to. I could have saved that money. But at the same time, it's okay because I invested. I see it as an investment. Did I just spend money or did I invest it? I invested in my health by buying vegan food. I invested in my community by buying a local owned shop, restaurant. I invested. And that's how I see it. And so I don't regret it. But I'm watching my spending for right now. It's like, oh, I went to the grocery store, so now I've cut myself off. Like, nothing. We're not spending nothing. I don't care how many tarot decks I want. I don't care how many more books I want, because that's my thing. That's my thing. If you want to show me some love, send me a tarot deck or an oracle deck. Get me an oracle deck, a tarot deck, or a book about something I want to read about. Like, my Amazon list be long. But it's stuff that I find on Amazon. Like, most of the time I'll try to find it in my community. I'll go to my favorite bookstore, or I'll go looking around, see if I can, there's several places to buy cards here. And so I'll go look around and see if I can find the deck that I want at one of my local one of my local shops, so that I can buy local and invest back into my community and into the relationships with my community. Salem's like big and small at the same time. It's like we're close knit, and especially if you make it through October working in Salem, you get some respect, even if you got a southern accent. They're like, oh, you made it through October working? You're still here? Oh, you hanging in for the long haul, huh? Like, yeah, like, we see you. Residents and people who work here get 20% off in our store. What? So I can write this off on my taxes because it's a deck of cards. I'm a card reader. So I can write it off when I start making money, because apparently, to write stuff off on your taxes, you have to be making money with your business. I didn't get to add my iPad last year. That sucks, but whatever. I still invested and it'll return somehow. It's looking at the brighter side of things, looking for something to have gratitude in. Regardless whether I got any money back for spending it, for investing it on that with my business and stuff, I still, So gratitude. Looking at things differently, yeah, I mean, basically, I'm trying to Is there other stuff that I need to talk about? A lot of stuff. I'm a storyteller. I tell a lot of my own stories. It's personal experience. That's what, people's going to remember a story, or at least I remember a story better. If somebody just gives me the information like it's a class, this is the 3 steps to finding gratitude in the midst of a shitstorm. I'm not going to be able to relate to that as well as if I've got a story to go with it. If somebody gives me a story about how they was in the middle of a shitstorm and how they was all in their lack mindset, thinking, in their dark thoughts and thinking, oh my God, this sucks. What the fuck? I don't want to be here. I just want to, I want to check out. I don't want to do this. I'm done. I don't want, this sucks. I hate it. All those thoughts, if I get a story about somebody being in the middle of that shitstorm and then spirit or whatever popping up a thought to them and they're like, oh, if I can find something to be grateful for, I know that gratitude brings opportunities. And gratitude brings, and with the opportunities, you got a choice. You can say no and stay stuck, or you can say yes and move forward. One little thing at a time. Like I said, even, if it's just getting up and doing what seems like the smallest thing for yourself. It's a big step to get up out of that bed and go feed your body something good. Not a bunch of junk. Feed it something good. Eat some fruit. Or just, getting up and just letting the water run over you in the shower. Even if you ain't got the energy to if you set the intention of cleansing that energy off of you and let that water run over you, you're going to feel better when you get out. When you start saying, okay, what the hell's going on here? This is not me. I feel like I'm being attacked spiritually by things. When you start asking questions, you'll start getting answers. And once you get those answers, what you do with those answers is important. There's been times when I'm struggling like a motherfucker and shit just keeps coming at me. And I'm like, how come I can't get up out of the bed? I've got so much to be grateful for. I'm sitting over here in my gratitude. But yet, for some reason, I'm debilitated over here in my bed. Like, what the fuck is going on, spirit? And they're like, oh, people working black magic against you. They sending some of your old enemies to come fuck with you again. And I'm like, really? Really? So then you want to, if you're new to it, then you want to study a little bit on spiritual warfare. I would not always go to the Christian side of things, for sure. Be open to whatever spirit brings to you, because different strokes, different folks, different spirits need different ass kickings. One name that always works for me is Jesus. When I command something to go and leave me alone in the name of Jesus, it does. When I send things back to people, it does. It goes back. And I don't send it with malice. It's just whatever you sent to me, was a little saying about I'm rubber, you are glue. What you sent to me bounces off of me and sticks to you. That's a hell of a comeback. It's a hell of a you can call it a curse if you want, but it's all it is speaking somebody's karma back to them. Like, you sowed bad seeds, you did bad things, you sent something to debilitate me and to keep me from succeeding. so that you thought I would still be under your power and whatnot, and you thought you had power over me. No, no. So I'm gonna send it back to you. I'm gonna send your karma back to you. What you sow, that's what you'll reap. And I guarantee you're gonna weep. Mm-hmm. Yup. People, I got people. I'm gonna have to laugh a little bit about it. And it's real, like personal experience with people that I know. I'm going on 30 minutes. I'll say this part, and just because it's about spiritual stuff, because you can be in a full on attitude of gratitude, and you still have people sending shit to you because they don't like your light. So don't share your plans and your ideas with everybody. Be careful who you share your stuff with. If all it is your journal, sometimes that's all you got that you can share your plans, dreams, and goals with, and that's okay. Share it with your spirit team. Make sure that's your spirit team that unconditionally loves you. But just talking about, the people that send you that stuff, getting their stuff back. Whether you send it back or not, it's coming back. That's the laws of the universe. It's called karma. It's called the law of reaping and sowing and reaping. It is what it is. What you put out is what you get back. So I actually personally know somebody that's like I can't remember what kind of witch she determined herself to be. Maybe like a green witch or something. I don't know. But and I don't want nobody to get all stigmaty about that shit, especially if you come from a Christian background, because there is more evil, poisoning and witchery done in the religion of Christianity than a lot of places. There's a lot of love and light out there in the pagan and Wiccan practices, and then there's a lot of darkness in the Christianity. So don't get it fucked up. But so this person knows love and light. This person also knows darkness and stuff. And she sent something to somebody to harm them. I don't know. I don't know the full story. All I know is that she was mad at somebody over one of her children, and so she sent harm to this person who may have been quite innocent and just standing up for their own boundaries. I don't know the situation, but like for the next 3 years, 3 or 4 years, she's just, she, last time I talked to her about a year or so ago, she was still coming out of it. And no matter how many doctors she went to, they could not tell her what was wrong. It was spiritual maladies. It was manifesting physically, like with seizures and stuff. She couldn't walk. Like, they actually invited me to come and live with them so that I could help be her nurse at home, so that her husband could go work and stuff. And it wasn't in my stars to do that. Even though it would have been closer to my kids as well, it just wasn't in my stars to do that. I prayed about it. I asked about it. It wasn't in my stars. But so anyway, she told me, she's like, I know why I'm suffering like this. She said, I knew there would be repercussions to what I did, but I did it anyway. And this is what's come back on me. I was like, wow. It's like, was it worth it? Was it really worth the time, the money, the pain, the debilitation? No. And then another person that I know is going through the same thing. And this is somebody that I know that has practiced Santeria. Apparently there's good Santeria practitioners, which I wasn't aware of, because per my experience, the people who practice Santeria are a bunch of child molesting, child sacrificing motherfuckers that all deserve to fucking die. And yeah, anybody that harms one of these little ones, that offends one of these little ones, it would be better for a millstone to be hung around their neck and they'd be thrown into the sea than if they harm one of these little ones. And they harmed the fuck out of some little ones. Their own children. It was close enough that it touched on my children. And so I don't have anything but pure sit back and so all these spells and things that you cast on people because you get mad at them and you want control and you're trying to manipulate people and send evil on them and stuff, all this shit's coming back on you, huh? Is that why they can't tell what's wrong with you? Is that why you're blowed up like a big blowfish? Is that why you're fucking hurting? Is that why the doctors can't tell you what's wrong with you? Because all the dark magic, all the darkness that you've worked against people is coming back and it's getting your ass. And I know for a fact that things that you've sinned against me, they're getting your ass. Because see, it's like, and I don't feel dark about it. I don't feel like anything about it. Like, it's just facts. They coming back to get your ass. Y'all ever watch The Princess and the Frog, the Disney cartoon movie? Yeah. With the Shadow Man. He makes all them deals with the shadow people. And then when he can't hold up on his end of the deal, what happens? Are you ready? No, I'm not ready. Let's make another deal. I can get another soul. I can do something. No, you can't. Are you ready? Because they're coming for you. The spirits that you deal with, that you think that you got power over, you don't. And I'm talking to a specific group of people right now. I'm just channeling right now. And yeah. So y'all think y'all own these spirits because you know how to contact them, you know how to conjure them up, you know how to call them forth. But do you really know who the fuck you're talking to? Because they don't take it too lightly when you think that you got them. It's so funny because you think you got them on a chain. And you can say, oh, I'm going to send my God and my goddesses after you. I'm going to send my blah, blah, blah after you. Send it, bitch. Send it. Because when they get to me, this is me personally, when they get to me, they're going to be like, wait a minute. They sent us to you. And I'll be like, yeah, I don't know why. I'm sorry they didn't know that we've already had our interactions and that I always, get the better end of the deal on that. I'm sorry that they sent you to fuck with me and you can't fuck with me. So I empathize with them. I walk both sides. It is my gifting. I walk both sides. I have friends on both sides, all sides, and in the middle. Because I be a friend. I don't come in with these judgments. I don't come in with anything. I come in like Jesus. And they got respect for that. I don't disrespect. I don't disrespect other spirits or entities. I just talk to them like I'd talk to anybody with any normal respect, and like, okay. And so then they get mad because these people send them to a battle or to do something to somebody they know is going to hurt them. It's going to repercussion on them. So now they're mad at the person who sent them to me to destroy me, to hurt me. So now they're mad at the people that sent them to me. And they'll be all, are you ready? That's just the way it is. That's per my experience. This is what I've seen. This is what I've been shown. This is what I know. So it's like I'm not being cocky or anything. I'm being honest. And honestly, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm able to communicate with spirits. I'm grateful that I'm able to communicate and be right and decent with spirits that most people who grow up in Christianity would not be. You know, I don't go around telling people, or telling spirits and entities, oh, you're under my feet. You're under my feet. Jesus done defeated you. You're under my feet. I don't do that. I know my power. I know who I am. And I know what authority I walk with. But I don't be throwing it up in people's face. I don't be throwing it up in spirits and entities' faces. I talk to them just like I would talk respectfully and normally to anybody else I meet on the street or anything else. And they respect that. They respect that. When you give respect, respect is given. And so it really irks them when people send dark things to me, against me. Spirit of depression, spirit of suicide, spirit of guilt and shame. Don't send them. Just don't. Because they're going to come back and they're going to deal with your ass. And they're going to be mad as hell because your ignorant ass don't even know or care who the fuck you're messing with. And you think I'm just somebody that's a pushover. No, honey. No. I know who I am. So don't fuck yourself up because you don't know who I am. I'm grateful for who I am. I'm grateful for my gifts. I'm grateful for the ability for me to see, for me to speak. I'm not sure why I just totally channeled all that. So it's like I'm trying to like, okay, where does this tie in with gratitude at? Well, I'm grateful that I know how to deal with things in the spirit world in such a way that I can bring peace to not only the people walking in the light, but also the people walking in the middle and the gray areas, and also the people walking on the dark side. You know, Jesus talked to everybody. He even went down to hell and spoke to the spirits down there. And if they believed, then they ascended back up out of hell with him. He set free the captives. That's what we're here to do. Don't matter what we're a captive of, we're here to set free the captives. If you're a captive of the spirit and the thought processes of lack, we're here to set you free today and let you know that gratitude is the attitude that you need. That all it takes is changing your mind, looking at things from a different perspective, pulling yourself out of that shitstorm enough to look at it and say, damn, what could I do with this? If this were somebody else in this situation, what would I advise them to do? Would I have any advice for them? You know? So yeah. It's magical. And that's, you know, this is designed to set people free. Like to open your mind up to new possibilities. Because like you can open that cage door all you want to. And people just gonna stand there looking out, not knowing what the fuck to do. Because they've been in that cage for so long. You've got to spark a thought, a change of thought. You got to spark that thought. You got to plant that seed of thought. And you've got to expect Spirit to help it grow. That's how they get their wings and fly. That seed of thought, that spark. They take that into consideration. They think on it. They think on it. It grows. It grows. And when it breaks through, there's new life breaking through. There's a decision to make. What are we going to decide? Are we going to stay locked in this cage? Are we going to stay in this cage even though the door is open? Because it's comfortable, because we feel it, because it's our normal. We've been here in this thought process or in this place for so long that it's normal. In this cycle for so long, it's normal. No, it's not normal. It's time to step out. It's time to make a decision. I'm here to plant the seeds. The universe is here to watch them and give it the light and the water, the emotions, the sun that it needs to grow. And once it's grown, that's when the decision comes. You either decide you're going to stay in this, what has become your normal cage, or you're going to stay here because the meals come. What meals? The breadcrumbs and the filthy water. Standing there in your own shit. Sleeping in your own shit. Is that okay? Are you okay with that just because you got used to it? Is there something else you should be getting used to? Don't you deserve better? Because I'm hearing from Spirit, you deserve better. You deserve better than sleeping and eating breadcrumbs and drinking dirty water in your own shit. The universe says you deserve so much more. You deserve a clean place to rest on a nice mattress or on a nice whatever makes you comfortable when you sleep. Some people prefer the ground. Depends on what season of life I'm in. But you deserve more. You deserve love. You deserve the opportunity to love yourself, to be free to love yourself, free from these cycles, free from these thought patterns, free from the mental cage, the mental shit you're in. The door is open. What you gonna do with that open door? Are you gonna decide to stay here in your shit because it's comfortable? Because you've gotten comfortable with it? Or are you gonna look in gratitude at that open door? Be grateful for the shit you was in, because it's going to propel you to not be in it anymore. That's what propels me. There's stuff I don't want to go back to, that I won't go back to. And so when an opportunity, when a situation presents itself and it's like an old cycle that I've already dealt with, I'm like, nope. We're not doing that. We're not doing that again. We got off of that merry-go-round, honey. We are not doing that cycle again. We already graduated that. No, thank you. Because shit will still come up to you. There's always going to be opportunities to go backwards. Or stay stagnant. But there's always going to be opportunities to move forward as well. And so you got to make that choice. You got to make that decision. Once you make that decision, everything else, your thoughts line up with it, your surroundings line up with it, The universe lines up with it, but not until you make a decision. So you can be grateful for your cage. You can find things to be grateful about that cage. But you can also be grateful for the fact that the door is open and you can go out and you can fly. You can fly, you can run, you can walk, you can skip, you can hop, you can roll like when we was kids and we was rolling down the hill, you know, lay down and roll down the hill. You can roll out if you want to. It's your path. You decide how you want to leave your cage. But I hope you decide to leave. I hope you decide to leave. Because the world outside may be a little scary at first. Because, oh God, this is new freedom. Like that's a real thing. Like people who are incarcerated, it takes them a while to adjust to being back out in the world, especially if they've been incarcerated for a decent amount of time. You know, it took my ex... When I was married, my ex-husband spent 15 months in stateside, which is prison, but not in a state facility. And when he came out, it took him a good 6 months to not feel and be in that mindset of being incarcerated, not being able to do things when you want to. It took him a while to adjust to that freedom. You know, and you know, if you've been there longer than that, then it takes a minute, you know, and so I get that. I've seen it firsthand, and I had to be gentle with that, you know. I didn't expect him to go right into, hey, you need to go get a job and go to work, you know. It's like, hey, let's take this a day at a time and let you get your feeling back and get you back to you. And then we can deal with everything else, you know. So take the time to get back to you, to get to what, you know, who are you? Do you know? Would you like to meet yourself? I was always scared. I was scared to find out who I really am and what I'm really about. I was terrified of the power that I know I embody. Now I have slowly learned to embrace bits and pieces, and now bigger parts, and now I love myself. I'm so glad to know myself. And don't be afraid of yourself. Don't be afraid of the dark side. Don't be afraid of the light. Don't be afraid of the parts in between. Yeah, it's scary getting to know yourself sometimes, just like meeting somebody new and you're like, oh my God, is this person gonna be cool with me, or are they gonna fuck me off? You know, you gotta get to know yourself. You know, what do you like? What brings you joy? What thoughts do you have about certain things? Observe yourself. Study you like you would study a potential partner. And be grateful. Most of all, be grateful for the opportunity to be here, to be you, and to meet you, to know you, to love you. Because that's what we're here for. It's when you love yourself that love, you can share that with others. There's no need for a significant other. You know, that need goes away when you love yourself and you take care of yourself. That's the biggest lesson in my life right now. That's what I'm learning. and yeah, so I probably need to take the time, because I gotta cleanse. I gotta start, and I probably want to eat just a little bit more before I start it. So yeah, I'm grateful for the ability to be able to go and buy the items I need to do this cleanse. I'm grateful for the time this week to do the cleanse, because it's a cleanse you don't want to be like, you don't do the cleanse and then go be doing stuff. This is stuff you want to do when you're at home, able to be close to the toilet, like for 2 days. So, you know, been wanting to do this for a while, long while. So now I'm grateful for the time frame, opportunity. I feel like it's perfect time to release. We're still in the energy of releasing things with the super full blood flower moon in Scorpio eclipse energy. And yeah, so I'm going on for like almost an hour now. Shoot, I was trying to keep these shorter, but yeah, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Look for something to be grateful for. Even if it's something outside yourself, inside yourself, if it's a situation that you're no longer in, I can tell you how many times I'm so grateful that I'm not in situations that I have lived through, that I'm not still there. I'm so grateful for the freedom that I have right now. I'm so grateful for the things that I have built with my own heart, soul, body, hands. Yeah. Even if even at rock bottom, I found things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I'm still breathing. Watch your breath work. It's very important. I need to work on mine more. For the small things, I have food today. Somebody gave me a new coat. Somebody gave me some clothes. Anything. I was walking along and found this in a free pile. It was perfectly what I needed. Anything. Find anything and everything to be grateful for. And when you practice that attitude of gratitude, the universe hears you and is like, oh, you're grateful. You're grateful now. You ain't lacking. You grateful for the things you got. All right. We got more. We like to hear that gratitude. We got more for you. Here, try this. You grateful for this? Yeah. I'm grateful for this. Damn, it was a little bit tough to go through, but I'm grateful for the lessons I learned from this person, from this situation. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about others. I'm grateful for the lessons. Magic of gratitude. It's one of the most wonderful magics. So go be magical, find things to be grateful for, and give thanks for everything that you can. Even if you don't feel like you mean it, just say it. If you don't have the energy to say it, just think it. Just think it. So, yeah, go be magical. And have a beautiful day.